Welcome to Hungry for History, where we use treats to teach. This week we'll be learning about the mind-blowing concept of revolution. So let's imagine a society where everyone eats strawberry cupcakes. Now, one day someone decides, hey, I don't want strawberry cupcakes anymore. I want something bigger, better, a chocolate cake. So let's say other people decided that they wanted chocolate cakes too. So everyone started making lots and lots of chocolate cakes, until eventually everyone started eating chocolate cakes instead of strawberry cupcakes. That, kids, is what you call a revolution. Let's find out what it is. A revolution is a really big change to a society. It can change what people want, the way they think, and how they do things. But it can't just be any change. It has to be life-changing. If people only wanted smaller strawberry cupcakes, it wouldn't be a revolution. Because they wanted something completely different that totally transformed the way they did things, it can be seen as a revolution. Now that we know what a revolution is, we can start making the cake. But it's not easy to make a revolution cake because you need a lot of different things to be just right for it to work. First, you need the right ingredients for the cake. Firstly, we have the eggs of problem solving. A revolution can only happen when people find problems in their societies that they want to solve, when they want to change something about the way things work. Next, you need the flour of good ideas. A revolution needs good solutions to the problems people have found, or else they would not know what to do. Next, you need the water of unity. A revolution needs to be supported by many people because it needs to be big enough to completely change the society. That can't happen with only a few people. And lastly, you need the chocolate of change. A revolution needs to change the society, which means that solutions people think of need to be different, new, and better. Secondly, you need the right person to bake the cake. This person is the one who proposes or represents the ideas of the revolution, and they are absolutely essential because without them, not many people would agree, or worse, they may not even have the right ingredients for the cake. Lastly, you need to know how long to bake the cake. For a revolution to work, it needs to happen at a good time. For example, when people are already unhappy with their system, so it can properly bake. You can think of it as a system. You put in the right ideas and the right people. Let it go through the right circumstances and the right process, and there you have it. Our very own revolution cake. But now that we have our cake, we need to figure out what this cake does and whether it's a good cake or a bad cake. You may think that all cake is good, but that's not true. If I like chocolate, then I'll think our chocolate revolution cake is good. But if I'm allergic to chocolate, I'll think it's bad. This shows that revolutions can be good or bad, depending on who you are. A perfect example of this would be the real-life example of the scientific revolution. The scientific revolution happened in Europe during the 16th and 17th centuries. Before the revolution, people believed in assumptions and poorly substantiated faith-based views, because this is what the church, who was very powerful at the time, told them. An example of this is the idea that the sun revolved around the earth. They didn't know better because they were illiterate and could not find out knowledge for themselves. They had all the ingredients. Because of the growing use of books, and therefore language, more people learned to read and realized that the church, feeding them information that they didn't really understand, was a problem. Some famous scientists like Copernicus had the good idea that the earth revolved around the sun. Many people started to believe in this because many of the scientists had hard evidence for this. This idea was new and better proven than the old ones. All this happened when the people were already starting to doubt the information the church gave them. Thus, after the revolution, people believed more in scientific observation and reasoning, and this idea still exists until now. So what did this cake do? Clearly, because it was a revolution, it had some life-changing effects on society. There were many, but here are just two. The church that used to be really powerful lose some of its power, meaning that the way they thought completely changed. It made scientific research, developments, and ultimately technology more widespread, meaning that the way they did things completely changed. Both effects can be considered good. The first helped people figure things out for themselves, and the second made their lives easier and more comfortable. However, they could also be considered bad. The first made the church lose power, which the church would think is bad, and the second made more dangerous inventions. This shows that the scientific revolution could be good or bad. We have reached the end of another episode of Hungry for History. Now the concept of revolutions should be a piece of cake.